How old are you, Mary?
I am 61.
No.
Yeah.
I thought you were my age.
How old are you?
Wow. I'll be 52 in
Uh,
November. I'm a Scorpio.
yeah, double, right?
Yeah, Scorpio sun in the first house and
No.
Scorpio rising. Yeah, and then Scorpio Mars as well.
Oh. Thank you, babe. Are we all ready and recording and all that? All right.
Oh,
Woohoo.
cool. We're already here. Yay.
Let me share Dostology really quickly.
Okay, let me share to my pages as well. This is going to be fun. Let me see. Here we go. I see it. Very good.
Yeah, and so what I was talking about earlier is it's absolutely not it's absolutely not on my page at all. So sometimes this happens. Can you share Tosology, Chanda?
I sure can. Let's
And
go.
eventually it's going to come up on my page. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. I also can't see over on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go get a little bit of help here and I'll be right back. You're on your own for
Uh,
just.
I'll just hang out here with everybody while we wait on beautiful Mary. I'm right now, I'm just feeding it out to a few of my groups, making sure all my groups are in there. And I think we're good to go. So, we're going to talk intuitive astrology. We're going to talk about the solar weather that's been really cranked up, and we're about to receive a nice big solar influx storm. And this is not just one storm; it's back-to-back storms. Really, I mean, at any moment. In fact, there went. It's so crazy. There went my space weather app, just telling me. Yeah, it's increasing. It's going up. It's at KP2 plus, where it was at KP1 the last time I checked it. But the max today is to get up to KP7 by overnight into tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. High electromagnetic energy, high geomagnetic energy. And this in conjunction with all of the astrology energy that we're dealing with, it's quite a lot on people's systems. It truly is.
It's a lot on my little pea brain and my little devices because so yesterday my phone blew up. DOA. It was like RIP phone. And then in the evening, my husband came home and fixed it because he has a brain like that and the phone kind of likes him. Just
Mhm.
now, it's just you guys, y'all know it wouldn't be
Yeah.
metaphysical meltdown without me messing something up. So here we go. You
Well,
have,
you with that double Aquarius though, you see, you with a double Aquarius, you have so much energy there that's being like you're aspected. I looked at your chart and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is going to be interesting because we're both fixed signs. Aquarius and Scorpios normally do very well, and I'm a fixed Scorpio. So sometimes in the beginning, it's like, oh, okay, this is different. But then we always end up meshing well because fixed signs were kind of like, let's get it done, let's make it happen kind of
yeah,
people. So it's cool.
yeah,
Very cool.
absolutely. Absolutely. One of my special people is a couple people special to me is are Scorpios. So holy ones and listeners. Here we are. So it's me, Mary Beckman. Metaphysical Meltdown happens once a week, sort of kind of. Don't know the day, but just comes right back around Thursday or Friday of every week. So I just want to invite you to keep coming on sometime in the week at the end. I'll give you the bat channel, the bat station, the bat time, getting closer because I'm a one thing at a time kind of person. So my name is Mary Beckman. Okay. And my husband has told me I've never said who I am. So I'm really trying really well to remember who I am. Also, I just want to tell everybody before I forget, I'm going to be with Manson Mitchell this weekend, 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific on their show. So we'll be with Suzanne and Gary. So please tune in if you can. And I wrote down it is 11:50 a.m. kknw.com if you want to do streaming with those guys. This is a show about miracles. Your search for answers has much to do with the quality of your life. Who are you? And this is going to be something quite interesting. And I hope you can come and see that. And you can do it live if you want. If you live over in the Bellevue, Renton kind of area, you can do it live. So anyway, I'm coming at you from Lancaster. Pennsylvania, which is the snack capital of the world, if you didn't know. I
The
co
what?
the
What'd you
snack.
call
It's a snack capital of the world.
the snack? I
Yeah.
thought you said it's the snap capital of the world, although it could be that as well.
Yeah, you know it. So what so what they have here is every kind of snack. I mean, Hershey, Pennsylvania, come on. And so I'm not eating snacks at all. Don't know if you can tell any difference. Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
So I'm just really happy to have Chanda Sparkles today. She's going to talk about everything she just told you about, which are the eclipses that are knocking people on their butts. But also we had that big ass X. And actually, I feel a lot better today than I did yesterday. So really, I'm just going
Yeah.
to turn it over to you, Chanda. I've got some questions. If you guys have questions, and my guides told me, don't even worry about this. Early on in the week, they said she is a pro's pro, and so I have a lot of stuff to do in this next week. So I just knew Chanda was going to be great. So there you go, Miss Sparkles.
Well, I mean, I'm just so happy to be here with you. I've caught your videos and I've enjoyed watching the Metaphysical Meltdown. It's always been interesting. The guests that you have on are really cool. And of course, us coming together in Sology, that was really cool. You know, for me, I just, I wear so many hats as we all do. And being such a sensitive person, I'm super sensitive person. We're all feeling these energies as they're coming through. How have they been affecting you this week? Because literally, this is the week that they just all went bam, 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 bam. And I knew October was going to be huge. I even coined the month in the astrology opt out October. You have the choice. You don't want to plug into all of the crazy that's happening in the matrix. You don't have to, because if you're super sensitive and it hurts your heart, of course, prayers, love, sending all the beautiful Reiki energy, all of that. But sometimes it becomes a little much. And I have a bunch of clients that are super, super sensitive. And it's like, okay, so you know what? Let's redirect. Let's redirect the focus because it's an extreme month. I could have called it knock you on your ass October.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it was one of the ones that came through from my higher team. And I thought, I can't go with that. So we went with the opt out October.
I like it. Yeah, it right out of the gate, it happened. It wasn't like it messed around and little lamb coming in. It was like
Mm. Mm-hmm. Oh,
how I
yeah.
opted out is I changed a bunch of stuff in September.
Yeah.
And why didn't I do it prior to that? I don't know. When your turkey timer pops, it's time
Mm-hmm.
to do something, and
Yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
that it's time to change up a whole lot of stuff. So I did, and I feel so much better. I really, really
Mm-hmm.
do. And so just getting outside walking every day because it's nice outside still here. And
Yeah.
just eating differently, completely differently, and just ready for what comes. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so
Well, every September, if I may interject, every September is Virgo season. I don't want to say all of September, but Virgo season, which takes up a nice chunk, about 3.5 weeks of September, is all about transitions. This is the transitional sign where, because there's an evolution of the soul, and I'm a soul evolutionary astrologer. I'm not a cookie cutter astrologer. I do very different astrology. That's I look at the chart as a code, soul blueprint. Okay. And when we go into September, it is when the evolution of the soul is transitioning and preparing itself to realize it's not just a soul, that there is a mirror. And then the mirror shows up when we begin Libra season, you see. So what you're doing was right on point, because doing all those changes and transitioning and preparing and doing the practicalities, we bring in the harvest. We're bunkering down in the northern hemisphere for the cooler months, and the pulling in the crops like we used to in our ancestry. So you're right on track. So you have changed your eating habits, you changed your health and wellness. That's also all Virgo season. In Virgo, I made some changes to how I work, and how I'm cutting back on some things because I am a North Node Capricorn and I sometimes would just work, work, work. I work 10, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. I take one day off, and sometimes that day doesn't get taken off at all. So I had to really pull back and give myself some more balance in transition for the mirror to come in Libra season, and Virgo is a very earth driven, it's an earth sign, but it's a mutable sign. So we're always kind of like, looking at those finer details and how can we get more practical with this? If it's not practical, it's got to go kind of energy when we're in Virgo season. And now that we have entered into Libra season, it's like, oh, hold on. Do you mean there's another person here I've got to contend with with all of this? So yeah, I'll throw it back to you right there.
Absolutely. So those three things, funny you should say that. So at the start of the week, Spirit, what's going on for the class that I teach on Sunday? And I've got mirroring, looping, and balancing. So that looping thing, anybody I talked to and myself kind of came back around to take another look at why does this thing happen right now? Okay. And then the other things are taking off old timelines. That's been really big in the last couple of weeks. I've got a way to do that you can just not even know what that timeline is. You just know that you're so ready. You lay down in the water and you do it. There's a couple ways to do it. And that has been helping a lot. And I finally saw one huge one for me the other day. And guess what time it was? It was last day of September, 5 minutes to 12 midnight. I think I might be an 11th hour person.
Right. Well, and you were also born very early. By the way, if y'all didn't know out there, I got to take a little look at her birth chart today. And you were born early in the morning, right as the sun was coming up over the horizon, but it was still dark. So in the way your chart is laid out, your rising sign is still dark, but it's early morning. So, and I was too. I was born at 6:11 a.m. I was born in the early morning like that. And your sun is in the first house, and so is mine. So that means you are going to be a character that prefers to work in the dark, prefers to work in the night, but because of societal programs and the looping that we've been, all these programs that we have been programmed, you're supposed to work from this time to this time to this time. And, sometimes it doesn't work. And I feel like, I said, I don't even know how many years ago, I said, we are truly being guided and going to be continuously kicked in the ass to really kick out our absolute preparation of having to completely change and plan. So it's like the whole planned thing. You notice every time you try to plan something, it gets messed up. Something changes. It's like today. I thought it was this time. I truly did. I was like, had it in my calendar on my little, and then it wasn't. It was an hour later. And I just kind of had a giggle. I was like, wow, So it's kind of like the time clock is getting kicked. The reason being for that has a lot to do with Saturn being in Pisces. He entered in Pisces last year in March. And Saturn in Pisces, Saturn is the keeper of time, the linear time that we are all programmed to. And Saturn in Pisces, it's that's boundless intuition, boundless water. That's kicking out the consciousness. That's basically saying, this is when I call it bringing spirit into matter, meaning we're bringing that crystalline light body into the physicality, and you're bringing spirit into every matter that you come into, and it's like Saturn is kind of like the taskmaster, and he's going to kind of push you hard, and you have Saturn in the first house. So you're constantly in everything that you do being pushed. And you can look at Saturn like the wise old grandfather that has all this wonderful wisdom, right? And he has all this because he does give reward when you and that's your ruler. Saturn's your ruler in the first house of Aquarius, double Aquarius. So you're very Saturnian, and the world is experiencing that in a big way. But when it's in Pisces, it's kind of dreamy, fantasy, smoke and mirrors, illusion. Saturn doesn't necessarily like to be in Pisces. He would rather be in like an earth sign that's kind of like tangible. Let's get to work. Let's get these things done. Saturn's kind of like, bleh. It's like Saturn took an acid trip and he's going to be there like that for a little while. He will eventually move in next year, which I'll talk to you about next year in a minute, because ask me about what's going to happen next year as we get going here, because there's some really big stuff happening next year. But October is really going to rock us this month. Okay, so I do the charts and everything. I do the live stream. I'm live every single Tuesday. But this is what I do. My calendar, my astrology calendar, I go over this at the beginning of the year and I just write all of the big bullet points and everything. And I'm just saying, this is a lot of raw edge. There's going to be a lot of moments where we're like trying to get something accomplished and there's a lot of pressures. And then we end up, feeling as though we didn't get anywhere. We didn't get anywhere. And then a lot of core wounded, hurt words. You got to really watch it, what you're saying, what you're thinking, what you're bringing through. People are really sensitive right now. Seriously. So I know that was a whole lot of stuff, but you got to realize I'm a super intuitive and everything just comes out of me.
That's beautiful. I just write my notes and I keep up with you. So I've noticed this time thing, because what my husband has taught me is that he might get up at 11 o'clock at night and say, gonna work, baby. And it's just whenever the bug gets you. So I might be working at all different times. That works so much better for me, especially after I met all of the beautiful people at not Crystal Spirit, but Crescent Moon. They start their business opening at 11 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Very civilized time to start work, everybody.
I think so too. That's when my first sessions start at 11 a.m. I have in-person client sessions. They show up at 11, so I totally get it.
Yep. I grew to love it. And so here I am in Pennsylvania, and that's kind of how I start the day, because I talk to people around here in Pennsylvania, this Eastern Coast time, people in the early, and the later I talk to my folks back home in Pacific Northwest timing. So nice. It just all kind of works out. So I have noticed the timing thing. So today, I just want to mention today feels completely different to me than yesterday. Yesterday was like, I was so whoa, and really rocked by the energy coming through. I did not have a chance to go out and take a look and see if there was anything beautiful in the sky. Suddenly yesterday, you could actually see what was up there other than clouds. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping tomorrow's a better day, and maybe perhaps I heard that we might be able to see some aurora borealis around here because the Cape is up so high. So let's hope for that. The question I would like to ask you right before you talk regarding next year is, I'd like to ask you, in November, what are you seeing?
In November? Well, right now we're into, October, and then I don't look at November. I mean, it's Scorpio season, you know what I'm saying? So you're into the darkness. You're into, Saturn is going direct in November. Jupiter is about to go retrograde right now. And, in order, and I prepared for October. I haven't even really looked at November. I do know we've got Venus going into Capricorn. We have Pluto going into Aquarius, Saturn direct, Mercury into Sag, Mars into Leo. Whenever you've got so many planets moving positions from sign to sign, or moving directions from sign to sign, you're going to have a lot of more upheaval, and the big one is Pluto going direct. Pluto going direct literally this week. So Pluto goes direct. Let me just give the correct date so that everybody knows, because I have it all right here. There's so much stuff. I write like a doctor, and then I can't read my own writing. Are you like that?
Sometimes.
It cracks me up. Yeah, the 11th, the end of this week, Pluto is direct. So this is a big transit with Pluto moving direct and then him entering into Aquarius at 0 degrees of Aquarius for the very last time in November. That's the big thing that I'm looking at. The big thing is Pluto, and then Saturn will go direct as well. And these are your malefic planets. So anytime planets move, they vibrate their frequency stronger. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking, it's basically November and October are going to be extreme. I don't feel it lightening up much at all. But, even into December, I wrote all month, Pluto is at that last activation of 0 degrees Aquarius, advancing the new Earth. So we're looking at a quarter here of energy, of precipice, in order to begin the advancement of like what people might call the new Earth, the new energy, the Aquarian age. Although literally, if you look at it like scientifically, the Aquarian age doesn't actually start for about another 100 years, although we're here right on that precipice. So, I take it as a bundle, and then I break it down week to week, because if you're looking at this, month to month to month, I haven't even named November. See, I'm a very much in the moment astrologer. Yes, I look ahead and I have a general consensus, an outline of things. This is also how I do with my clients. I'll do a look ahead and a general consensus, and then we'll look in the moment. What's going on in the sky right now that can activate you, that could affect you now? Because really, all we have is right now. So I can try to do predictions of the future, and I can put stuff out there, and I have, and I've done it successfully. But at the same time, it's kind of not where I feel most comfortable. I feel more comfortable like, let's talking about what's happening now so that everybody can understand this is now. That's coming, yes, but it's all the energy flow. See, you got to realize astrology is more like the energy of music, like it's a sheet of music, and they have different notes that do different things, but it makes one flow of energy, just like your chart. Yeah.
That makes me feel so happy.
What?
Well, because I'm a one day at a time, 1 week at a time person. And
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it said before that this moment is actually the past.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I like that.
If it is the past, it's got a ton to teach us.
Yeah, it
And
does.
we are looking at how we got right here instead of, people always ask me about the present. And I'm the same as you. I can get it if I want to, because I just ask the holies and they go, well, it's I'd rather just say right now, what is going on that is your challenge? Because if you release your challenge and you come back into the middle road, you're walking up the middle road, you're staying right there, okay, then you can see things in a clear way, and you can actually see the truest truth. If you are covered with challenges and you're not doing anything but getting stuck, and we've all been there, and you're not seeing things clearly. You're just not. And you can see that on social media.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
It's people looking under their trauma, trying to get up out of there to peep what's going on. And so they're reading it as trauma. This is going to happen. What if that's going to happen? Well, but if this is big, you better have that. Yeah. Not going to happen.
Well, the porch strike is a perfect example for that. Now, everybody went out. I don't know about you, but down here, there's no toilet paper left at HEB. It's ridiculous. I'm not even kidding. Well, not HEB. What was it? No, Sam's Club. I mean, like all the shelves are empty and it's already over.
It's over.
So, I did intuitively, I was like 2 weeks before it happened, because I kind of knew something big was going to be happening around these eclipses. I'm like, some big something is going to go down. Seriously, because the eclipses are so potent, it's so strong. And I did, like, I'm on hormone medication. Nobody, I don't really like it, but I've tried all of the things. I've tried all the naturals. Don't throw them at me. I've done it all. I'm a natural girl, but it wasn't working. So I went with taking these hormone treatments. And I was like, you know what? I don't even want to worry about running out. Go ahead and give me 90 on that. Give me a 90, a 3-month supply, so I don't have to worry about it. Same thing with my son, who's been through so much trauma, so much gone, most people know. And he's doing really great now, by the way. But I was the same thing with his doctor. I was like, maybe what if we have the shortage and he can't, let's get a 90-day supply just to, but I literally had gone to the store and stocked up like 2 weeks prior because I knew during these eclipses, I'm like, I need to get all my stuff together, all my stuff, and I have enough to last me next 3 months. So I'm good.
Yes, exactly. And so I think I think we all felt that something, even if that strike was going to, I just asked my guide, I said, how long is that going to happen? And will my card deck ever get here in my lifetime?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Coming on
So,
a boat, coming on a
so
boat.
oh,
Coming. Okay.
what
And
what card deck? What card deck? I'm sorry to interrupt, but what card deck?
my card deck, The Art of Your Energy. So
That's
I
your card deck?
did
Oh,
it.
you need to give me one of those so I can feature you.
It's pretty awesome.
You need to be a sponsor.
Well,
Cool.
I thought I was going to sponsor in November.
Yeah, good. I'm taking some time off in November. I'm traveling.
Well,
But
have me sponsor another time. I'll
yeah,
just do it.
yeah,
But what's
yeah.
happening? This was pressed in China because if you want to be able to spend for your card deck this big, because it's 111 codes, if you want to buy a used Subaru, you could go to this awesome company. If you want to buy a brand new Subaru Outback with all kinds of options, you can come to here to do it. So I chose this place that actually has a United States office because you can communicate back and forth. They're really super cool. And I got exactly what I wanted. It turned out great. But I needed some decks because I'm going to be traveling next week to the Pirate Festival, which is another story. And
Hi, matey.
I, I had those sent to me by Federation X, FedEx.
Cool.
And so they aired it, and then it came here, and there they are, and I got to see that that's going to be okay, and so I can let my butthole go, and it's all cool. But the balance of the decks are coming by the slow boat from China, literally. So I went with my guide, and I said, less than a month to get here, and all he does is smile. When I see Mr. Tesla smiling at me in that goofy way, something. So when I went to the store, which our stores had whatever you wanted, except for organic onions, fried onions. I haven't had that for a month. Anyhow, when I went there, there was nothing missing. And I thought, okay, well, toilet paper's on sale. Cool, cha-ching. And a couple of things. But I didn't do that with panic in my heart. I did that with, you know what? I'm going to be gone. What if Tom needs his whatever?
Just a matter of fact.
I did it in a matter of fact, unfearful way. So I think what is going to happen is going to be a lot of up and down in the next little bit. Okay. Up and down. Yeah. And I am so sorry, Sam. Yes, they get them at the Pirate Festival for anybody else. They have to, because I had to have something to show,
Yeah.
So that's the thing, you guys, is that, and then it just came up like the next day. Oh yeah, they figured it out. And I thought, well, there you go, Mr. Tesla, you got it.
Cool. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get one of your decks and use it. That's awesome.
That's my book, The Art of Your Book.
Beautiful. I do think you showed me this. I can't remember if it was 2-3 weeks ago. I was watching you. I have to catch the replays because I'm working all the time. But yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yay. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's a very big achievement to get all of that out there. They've been telling me to write a book for a long time, and I'm just like, how? When? And I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I know that time. I even said last year to my dear brother Renee up in Shasta, Mount Shasta, I said, I want to come stay with you, and I want to come up there and write my book because I think it'll be perfect to write it from there. The guides have told me there'd be a perfect place, but it just wasn't happening last year. And then this year, I've honestly just been kind of recovering all year from last year as I work, kind of like building myself back up again after all the trauma last year.
Right. Yes, and we saw some of that, and I'm so glad to see you looking so good. Happy for your son. So happy to see him.
Me too.
Need that time. We need that recovery and building. And guides told me 1 page a day, right? 1 page a day, you'll have your book.
Is that how you did it? That's good. Good.
I write. I always write. I'm always taking notes. I'm always writing. And I have a writing guide, and he steps in and goes, and then when it's time to put it all together, it goes really super easy.
Yeah, I like that. Well, and it is a lot of you just stepping out of your own way effortlessly, instantly, and bringing it into the tangible reality. You can do that very well as a double air sign Aquarius. It's that being able to step outside of the box, being able to truly embellish into this 3D reality and bring something that is, here you can touch, feel, taste, and smell. Here you go, read, you know, and that's cool. That's awesome. I commend writers. I have complete dyslexia, and like I write like chicken scratch. I'm not a I can't, and I'm triple jointed, and my hands go weird. So like I can't even type very well. I even took typing classes when I was younger, trying to get it, and it's just I can't play guitar because my fingers are very mechanical. Like,
So I don't type. I have arthritis because I was a florist. So I speak this. I speak it in
mhm.
my computer.
Yeah, channel it. Yeah, that's what
So
I do with all my emails and my stuff too. Is just channel it.
I write a page a day, but then I'll speak it into the program, and pretty soon your book just blooms.
Yeah,
Thanks to editors.
yeah.
All I got to
And
say. Ah,
and thanks to the AI. I've been doing a lot of AI art. That's what I love. I'm very artistic. I like to bring beautiful, different, outside of the box things into the world. I'm making electromagnetic frequency blocker sprays with multiple kinds of oils, as well as like shungite and monatomic gold, just a touch of it. I've been working on that for the past 2.5, 3 years, and it works really good. I make it with homemade holy water from the tree of Jericho. I make the electromagnetic frequency like organite coasters. They're like flat coasters, and you put them in the windows. I have them in the windows all around the house, and just doing different. I have all different kinds of little projects like that that I really love to bring into the reality. But the book thing I know is like my big challenge with my Saturn being in the eighth house of my Gemini, and that Saturn is saying you got to learn to communicate differently. And my North Node is in Capricorn in the third house of communications, written word, online, social media, all the medias and the news and all that. So I know I'm on my path, and I know it'll come. And I'm like, thank goodness for AI, because now I can probably just channel that thing right to the AI, and the AI will fix all of the stuff, whenever I'm ready to do it. So,
yeah, whenever you're ready, you will do it because you have been a communications person. You used to be a DJ.
yeah, morning show radio for 15 years, off and on. I did 3 different morning shows, one here in Corpus, and then in Midland, Texas, at a rock alternative station. And then I was at a memories oldies 50s, and then a clear channel radio group, pop radio kind of thing, top 40 stuff. So yeah, it's always been a big part of who I am. And I've always been a performer since I was very young. My mom had me in baby pageants and all.
Oh,
Oh yes, yes, yes. I rode around on a unicycle, and I would twirl like I was a baton twirler that rode the unicycle. I would ride it all over the neighborhood, and my entire neighborhood. I was the weird, crazy child that all the parents loved and adored because I was so weird. you know but it was fun. I had a fun childhood. I lived in the desert. I was born in the oil patch, and all of my family is pretty much oil patch. Dad is a geologist, so I was raised to study rocks, and I was the outstanding science student. It was good. My grandfather was Tesla reincarnated. He made electric surge protectors. I watched him like blow up multiple factories. In fact, he caught one on fire, and we had to move to a different one. And there's just I'm a little girl, and I'm the only, and he taught me a lot of different things. He said, you know, he wasn't religious. He was like, always look further than that. He was, he owned the Monaghan's meteorites. We had big saber-toothed tiger full in a glass, like a museum piece in the house. And so it was just always like all these artifacts and all of this stuff. I was just raised up in around all these geniuses. And so it had to rub off a little bit.
Absolutely. Who has the meteorites? That's the rock lover in me. That's what I want to know.
My grandfather had them for many years. He had three of them. He had the Monaghan's meteorite that was found by the little Mexican boy in New Mexico.
Wow.
And yeah, yeah, he bid on it last minute. My grandfather was a very big guy. He was kind of like, and he's like, yes, I bid on it in the last minute online and I got it for 26,000. And he'd just smile. So
Wow.
yeah,
I
yeah.
cannot wait. I get to go to New Mexico next year.
Oh, good. When?
Yes, I'm not sure. I'm not
Okay.
sure. Spring, probably.
I will be going through Mexico, New Mexico in the spring, so we should maybe try to come together. I will be going to Team Light's Rise of the Guardians in Sedona. And Sandra McGillis is going with me, and Tammy Lynn McGillis is coming up, and we're gonna all go. Maybe Renee Moreda, but we're all going over there with Rion and the Team Light. We did the solar. I think Kate the hardest. I'm hoping she comes. May go with us too, but yeah, so we might cross paths because I'm actually going to drive it, and I could fly, but I really want to drive it. I haven't been back to New Mexico in a while. I was only not too far from Mexico at all where I was raised. So we'd go snow skiing all my life up in New Mexico and Colorado. And I really want to do that trek and I want to grid as I go. I actually do grid work where I grid the actual land. I bury certain crystal herbs and stones in a very prophetic manner with
Mhm.
all my guides and whatnot. And I take people out and we do the grid work on the land. We really it's a powerful thing. It's a lot of fun. I'm a very fun psychic. I'm always kind of like, let's have a good time with it because I believe that your laughter and your joy is the greatest thing that you can do, even when you're in the shadow. Yes, cry, weep, moan, wail, get that out, let it move through your field, but get back to your highest light as best as you can, as quickly as you can. And you can do that in nature because there's always something fun or something in wonderment to be seen when you're out in nature, right? Yeah.
There sure is. Well, there's a lot to you because I heard a little soul language there. So my dear friend went to one of those Rion things, but it wasn't the last one. I think it was one before. Melanie Long. She takes those incredible pictures and shows all kinds of cool stuff that hasn't even
Uh-huh.
come crazy from New Mexico. She got me a Rion thing. Doesn't want to be on camera. I was going to show it to you. It's one of
It's
his.
okay.
He's got incredible
His
devices.
or- his organite pyramids. Yeah, I have a bed set that is underneath the Galactic Mermaid because I got the sound room next door with all the gongs and bowls and everything.
Oh,
And it's underneath my table next door to here to the studio. And then I have another bed set downstairs. So
yeah.
yeah.
It's
They're
got
great.
I just love to hold it and it's actually anchoring in some of my stuff over here because I like to be prepared. You never know when you have to go like today with somebody who needed money support, venturing.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
like to be
Nice.
prepared. I like to be
Yeah.
prepared. Well, you guys
Yeah.
can tell that there's an awful lot about Chanda Sparkles. This is more than an astrology conversation.
Oh
So I would
yeah.
invite you on the second little bit. There's quite a few minutes left. Why don't you go ahead and send some very general questions? Because of course she doesn't have time to look at real specific ones, but general questions that you would like to know. And since this will always be live here on my Facebook page, and it will also be on YouTube, we'll get all kinds of people looking at this. So you might be able to help somebody. So if you
Sure.
want to do that, we would love, I'm just
Sure.
talking to them, helping people by thinking up something to ask. I do have some questions.
Okay.
So Sam, yeah, I knew you were teasing. People are texting me about that deck, and I'm excited that people are excited about it. So the question I had was, I saw you say the other day on something when I was reading about you, you said you've been training for this particular time for quite some time. And I think a lot of us are feeling that way. What did you
Mhm.
see?
I feel like that we've been, and when I say this time, like, I mean like this chunk of time, and I'm really talking about like 2020 on, okay? Because I really feel at the end of 2019 was when that big flow came through. We all know that. We can all feel that. We're all powerful beings. We're all a team here, right? But this particular time here, I feel like when I was coded and seated into the flesh suit, um, I was meant to be here to read the code of the energy, to like I honest to God have no idea how I do all this. Okay. It just comes through. It really, truly just happens. Um, Now, of course, I've had training and certifications and all those things, but quite honestly, I didn't need that. And I know that I was meant to be here to ignite this land, to ignite this earth, to flip the frequency of this planet. I know I'm a big, huge part of that. My grandfather was a big part of that. He taught me so many different ways to look at this world. And then when I started having the memories, I had flashes of beings and angels and all of this different stuff when I was younger. Then, like many of us, I kind of, partied like a rock star and made that all go away for a long time, for real. And then it all started coming back to me in 2008, 2009, and really kicked off in 2010. And so it's been a progression. And I know that we're all meant to be here right now. There's no mistake. If you are awake and you are aware, and I say that with all the love in my heart, if you're awake and aware, you're meant to be here. You're coded differently. You have remembrance that's happening right here. In your higher cosmic heart. I've watched one fiance, two husbands die. Okay, suddenly. I've seen them leave the body. I'm also a death doula minister, and I help people right before they're crossing to help them to get up out of the body so that they're not so scared and so that they can really embrace the amazing celebration that they're going into. So I know that's kind of a long answer, but I just know. I think I just know I'm coded to be here. And every person that if there's any message I could send out that has always been as me is the more we come together in community and unity. Every Bayleaf ritual at every event I ever had, I write community and unity, because the more of us here living that heart coherence, like literally like the Lemurians. I have a Lemurian, and I know all about that uprising where they had to go under and then they had to come back up because they had to go under because they had the prophets, they had the seers that said, okay, we got to go under, lived under for over a year underground. And while the floods came, and then the ones that surfaced started going to Madagascar, Hawaii, and then eventually on to Washington, California, Shasta area. But it's more about understanding the innermost understandings that you have it in you already, and everything's here, and you're meant to be here for this time because this is a huge time of evolution. We are ending a 450,000 year cycle. We're ending a 26,000 year cycle. We're ending a 400-year cycle. We're ending a 248-year cycle. We have cycles upon cycles just snapping on top of each other from now until the end of 2026, into the 2027s. So 27, in the 27 to the 28th, 227, 228, sorry, it's just they're coming back and forth. To the 27 to the 28, 2027, 2028 is when we're really going to be past all of this. But this and next year is going to be even more. This year was kind of just a lot of preparation through these transitions. We're just in such a preparation time right now for what is to come. Because when Pluto enters Aquarius at 0 degrees next year, it's like your mind's going to be blown. By the end of 2027, 2028, this world is going to look like a total different world. In a total different world. Technology is, I feel sad for those people that will lose their jobs to animation, but it's inevitable. Pluto in Capricorn is going to bring up the shadow and all of the dirty deeds around advanced technologies. He is going to bring brother and sisters home, but the brothers and sisters are coming home through us. I know that after seeing, Octurian, heck, I just had the most incredible session yesterday with a wonderful, amazing autistic woman in Australia. I didn't even know until I knew. But you talk about you were on your ass yesterday morning. The dreams I had, Anunnaki came through. I've never had Anunnaki dreams. I've never even like gone there. And this is all new to me, right? This is all new and fresh with the Anunnaki. And these Anunnaki are actually holding space here for us. And I do also know that there's multiple like ships of beings. And the way I see it, there's these space arcs that are like this. They're real thin, like this. Okay. And they are under the water. I see the under the water out here outside of Padre Island, because I'm on the longest sand barrier in the world on Padre Island. Okay. And I can go 60 miles of beach. I go out there and I'm seeing these ships. They're real thin. They're like it doesn't make human mind sense that there are civilizations and beings inside of these ships, right? But then they come up out of the water. Well, when they come up out of the water, you know how the water would go down and it's seawater, it's going to foam up, right? Well, then it's like gold. It's gold. So I know this is a lot of stuff and I'm trying to like condense it. I'm not going into a whole lot of like elaboration over all of this, but I just know that I'm meant to be here. And I know we're all meant to be here. If you're awake and you're aware, you matter. Your frequency matters. You must be conscious of your consciousness. Like, are you conscious of your consciousness in this moment? Am I conscious that I'm washing this dish in the sink? Am I conscious that I'm over here mowing my grass or whatever it is that you're doing? It's a lot. There's a lot going on and it's big. And I say this a lot. I don't think people really grasp how big it is.
I don't think so either. And I'm trying desperately to send you a photo of, I think, what you are talking about. So hold on.
Let me see.
What you're talking about as far as the ship, I want you to see.
It's thin. So there's a civilization in this thin, but see, because it's in a different dimension, I think because of my psychic perception, the way I see things in like, remember like you're in school and they had the old projectors with the little slides and it was like, that's how I see things.
Go ahead and look at that photo. I sent it to you on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Does it look anything like that?
No. It's okay. Like if you took out those like little, that looks like a football string, kind of like a football threading. Yeah. But if you took out those things around the outside and just had that one, but the whole thing is like this, and then it arcs down. Like it's this, and then it goes down. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I'll send it to you later. What she's talking
cool.
about, the absolute amount of galactic presence right now is mind-blowing. So my friend Melanie has taken some amazing pictures. I'll see if it's okay to send you the one that's really thin. So
I'd like to see. Yeah,
absolutely. Just the help here is just incredible, from the galactics to the elementals to the angels. I saw angels stacked up and side by side as far as I could see. It was the presence has changed this week completely. There was something I wanted to say. Oh, dream. You dreamed about something. So last night I dreamed that I went into my mom and dad's room. They are deceased, both of them. I looked on the bed and there were three spiders. Spiders. I knew it meant something important. There was a lot of other stuff about that. Tom and I were standing watching a race of people going by, and it looked like some people were really right there present and other people were just zombie out. Okay. So I knew about something. I found one of my dream books, and of course I looked up spider meaning. So spider dream is personal power, manifestation, taking on your own destiny, higher self, guiding you to communicate your needs and healing. That was perfect for me. There's also a little trickster energy, if you believe the other side to it. But by the time I came back to look at the spider again, my cat that I had, my cat that I had in my first adult life cat, Toby, bless her soul, ate one of them and they were gone. So I figured Toby came in and got the one that was going to bug me. But it was a dream where it's something. The other day I dreamed I had hamburgers on a lanyard. I was threading them for people. So
Oh,
this is from Planet WTF.
very Aquarian of you.
Yeah. What?
Let me serve you.
Yes, let me help you with the burgers. So
Yeah,
one
dreams are really off the hook because of Neptune being in its Pisces is its home sign. And when Neptune is in Pisces, the very last sign of the zodiac, it's already all about fantasy, illusion, delusions, confusion. It's also where we would go to the mental asylums. It's where
oh
people
yeah.
lose their mind. It's madness. It is out of body. It is when we leave the body to die. That is all ruled by Pisces. It's also prisons and institutions and all of that kind of stuff. And Neptune being there with Saturn, like I told you, is making all of our dreams very real. And we're working in our dreams. Those dreams are not dreams. Those are real. Things are happening in there. I often tell people, I said, call in your dream guide before you go to sleep after you've done your go to glow, shield up. Because with Neptune and Saturn being there, you're really able to tap in. And what you can do is, so if you're having a problem in your 3D reality, you can go and work through that problem, most likely pretty quickly in your dream reality, you see. And then that way you're able to actually process it in a different way. And it's a lot simpler, a lot easier. And then you wake up and then things kind of fall in the place, or you're able to get some kind of resolution or something will come through. But you've got to be setting the intention. You're the only one here. You're the only one in control. It's just your consciousness. All of this other shit really just does not even matter. When you get down to it, really all it is you programming your reality. That's how I truly see it. I've seen it like that for a long time, and I see stuff every day that blows my mind still. I get blown away, like by like so many things. I'm just like, wow, this life is the trip.
Yes.
It's such a
Sometimes sitting on the sofa going deep, you come back out and say, did that really happen? But you know how I know, did that really happen? And how is it that I'm not going to the nut house instead of staying right here? Feeling great. Because when I come back out of that vision, I feel better. I
yeah.
know stuff, I feel better, and I'm
Yes.
super
Yes.
solid, grounded.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So these
Yeah.
visions are important to note that when you go into a vision, or for when you go to sleep for that matter,
Sorry,
generally,
I'm sorry, I'm getting really hit right now. I'm just like these waves are coming at me. You're a lot. Our energy is a lot.
yeah, it is. That's why I got my air conditioner on.
Let me That's why I brought out my bowls, just a couple of them, just to kind of help clear that air. There
Well,
we go.
what happened yesterday was I was making dinner and I was standing at the sink, and all of a sudden I wondered if I was going to be continuing to stand at the sink. I thought I was going to be knocked down to my knees. And I
Mm.
stood there and I said to my guide, his name is the soul of the Nautilus is his name. And I said, Holy One, I'm about to go. What do I do? And he said, get ready. Okay, so I got ready. I just regrounded. I just called myself back, body, mind, spirit, and emotions to make sure soul's right in there. And then I saw him go, and I went, and in like 5 seconds, the pain in my back was gone because I had a lot of pain. I was not dizzy. I felt like I could
Yeah.
keep dinner and yada da, drank a big glass of water, and the way it goes. So the thing is with this thing, when you breathe in, because I have you seen them breathe to you before? The guides will do that. They'll go right up to you and do that.
I've never had that happen to me, no.
So if you ask for the
I think it's funny though.
well, they'll do that. If
No,
you ask,
I get mine very differently. But yeah, go ahead.
everybody does, so
Yeah.
But anyway, there he does that. And so I asked, can other people do that? And he's like, oh, heck yeah. So we've done that with some people this week and they really do feel better. So if you feel really crappy, his name's the Soul of the Nautilus. And he was in class last week and I believe the week before. Pretty awesome. But what I want to talk about in the last couple minutes, if you have at least another 5 minutes or so, are you cool
Yeah.
with?
I've got
Okay.
plenty of time. In fact, I just looked up at the clock and it says 555, which means shift and change. I also integrate numerology into everything. And I also wanted to touch on your spiders, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Your spider dream has a lot to do with how you're weaving your medicine, how you're weaving your medicine. And whatever that medicine may be, it could very well be how you're interacting with your students. It could be how you're interacting with your family. Whatever that medicine is for you, Shite, it is what it is. I saw that those spiders, and you had it three. So three is all about birthing. It's like you think of the pregnant woman just about to give birth. Now, remember, birth is bloody and it's messy and it's ugly, but in the end, you've got a beautiful being, right?
Yeah.
So keeping in mind with the 555 that I'm seeing, and I was thinking about the spiders and everything, you may be birthing yourself into something, or that may be a little bit challenging for a minute, but then afterwards it's so worth it. This is the month of October. This is really the month of November, but November is going to make it super deep because we're going to be dealing with Scorpio energy, which is the most psychic of the zodiac. It's the most intense. Everything that's underneath the water, everything that's like beneath the surface. It rules your oil, your minerals, the sewers, but it's all so fixed. It's like doesn't want to budge. Psychic energy, like you were saying that your guides blow on you. My guides just come through and I get tones, or I get a vision, or I feel and sense and I smell across the veil. I get smells of people's past loved ones to tell them what's going on. They come in very differently. I've never had any blowing at me though. That's why I was kind of laughing. But yeah, I just want to tell you that. Like I felt that really strongly when you were talking about the spiders. To remember, you're weaving your medicine. You're
They just
weaving.
told me that the other day. They said, you won't recognize yourself or some things that are going on next year. It's
Mhm,
so different.
mhm,
You're about to do something else. A couple people told
mhm,
me that. Astrology
mhm,
focused people told me that. And then my guides told me that because it's true. I get all of the clairsenses at the same time. So it might feel like crazy. And I
mhm.
remember early on, the first time I ever saw an angel was Archangel Gabriel. He's always been with me because I'm a communications person and I had to learn how to do it. Because when communication first starts between people, you sound like a rusty lawnmower. You like, it's really hard to get things out. If you continue to do it, you'll be able to communicate easier. So there was
Mhm.
a movie I was watching the other night. It was called Hill House, something about Return to Hill House or something. It's that old movie. I tell you, it was like 8 episodes too long. But if you guys want to watch, it's slightly scary, a little bit grody, but really super cool. And I could watch
Yeah.
those. I love Halloween movies. And
Yeah.
so, what they show how timelines are interacting at the same time.
Mhm.
So that is a house full of timelines. And so
Nice.
see if you want to see right in front of you how that goes down. That's a great movie for it.
Nice example. Just remember whatever you're plugging into, to please say to yourself, I do not consent to the programming, because we are being programmed by everything we see, all of our experiences around us. There's a lot of programming out there, and I always like clear my food, clear whatever I'm watching. If I'm going to dive into a fantasy, because I love a good fantasy, I don't really do the horror stuff anymore. I can't really take it, but I love a good like sci-fi thriller or something,
Oh yeah,
interesting to escape, but
yeah,
yeah,
I love it
and I
too.
like when you can see the symbology in what they're trying to do. It's like, oh, okay, so now I see what you're doing and what's going to be coming in the next 2 years. Thank you for showing us. It's
Yeah,
very interesting, all of that movie stuff.
absolutely. So this is my card number 39, 5G attenuation. So what 5G attenuation is, it says check the electric the electromagnetic output of any device by holding your pendulum over it and tend to say out loud, show me the EMF output level. Then add this code,
Nice.
placing the card over the device. Check with your pendulum again. Shungite, a mineral from Russia, can also help block EMFs. This is what I put
Mm-hmm.
over anything that I don't want the energy of. See?
Nice.
So it's the
Nice.
sun behind it. It's the tic-tac-toe in the middle with the rose over top that knocks it out. So when I see chemtrails up there, whether you believe it or not, that's up there, I just go, oh, do. It falls right
Yeah.
back down to compost. Thank you, Linda Jollo, for a long time ago saying it falls down to compost. Anyway, that's 5G attenuation. So if
Yeah.
I have so many blocks on my phone for 5G, but if I didn't have any, okay, and
Yeah.
if something that would bug me, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
do it on my devices all the time. I
Cool.
the pendulum. Do I have a problem on my device? Is it pulling a lot of energy that I don't need, like the router or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
pendulum will go, but it'll go
Yeah.
away like that. You put
Yeah.
that on it, done. Then you put a little
Nice.
shungite somewhere, you're donesville.
Mm-hmm. I use shungite. I have it everywhere. I use shungite powder, crush, and I hand see all of my selenite powder, my shungite powder. Everything is hand crushed with intention,
Mhm.
with the higher guidance. It's like you're putting your energy in fusion. I make these big blends. I think the last blend I did had like 80 something different things in the blend: stones, herbs, crystals. I use copper. No, really. And then I go around and I will, take the bowls and put the frequency with into there, put them under the gong. I've got 3 gongs next door. I love all the frequency, using that with your items. But I mean, I have it's a big copper statue here, and then I have copper in every corner of the house, copper conductors. I've got this area pretty cleared because the energy always feels good. I feel like it's so important that we really work towards, clearing our space as best as we can, and it makes your health feel better, makes you feel whole, makes you feel better on the inside. But at the same time, I'm also a believer of, okay, I really don't need all this stuff because I'm just that powerful because of the higher guidance and the remembrance of, I mean, I have clear waking memory of the planet that I came from. I have zero doubts of where I came from. Like I know exactly. Like I have dreams of it. Like my husband, this last husband that died, he's there right now. Um, it's just and that was just given to me just within the past 4 years. As I said, I knew something big was coming from like 2020, 21, 22, 23. I guess that's where I wrote it. But you need to also remember, whenever I do a channeling that I write, I'm voice channeling that. Like I think the most recent one you might have read was through the Galactic Mermaid. Was it the
Mhm.
Galactic Mermaid one that you were talking about? Anyway, she comes through, and
Oh, yes.
like I
Yes.
don't even remember. I couldn't even tell you what was put out there, and I have zero time to go back and read my own channelings. It's just like it just is.
It
And I
just,
just go. I
it's
just go
gone.
with it, you know. You know,
It's
it's so interesting. Sorry.
it's gone out. So I didn't mean to interrupt. I was all excited. It's gone after you say it. You're not supposed to really remember, is what I had heard some
Exactly.
go. And then people say, well, what did you just say? I have no idea. So can you
Mhm.
share the planet?
It no que me vaya. You want me to share it? Okay, so the planet looks like dark. It's a lot of water on the planet, lots of water. Because all of my dreams since I was little has a water, okay? And this planet, like, it is kind of a tropical planet, quite honestly. And I have this, the only thing I can make it describe it is, I don't know if you guys saw the movie The Blue Lagoon when you were a kid with Brooke Shields. It's like such an old movie. I'm so aging myself right now in this physical linear Shinnemukai. But it's like this built tiki thing that you can go into, and then it becomes a house. It's so weird. It like just becomes this beautiful house. And my husband is there building it with my sister that passed. And the planet is just like a normal planet. It's beautiful. It has 2 moons. Has two moons. The moons are really close, but they don't affect the tide. Oh, and here's the other point. It's always illuminated. So even when you're looking up, you can still see like as if it was a nighttime. You know, like when we go outside at night, we look up, see the stars and all the planets. But my planet is illuminated as if it's daytime. But you look up and that's what it looks like. But there's some kind of a electromagnetic or some kind of barrier that illuminates the planet. So we just, and we don't, there's no fighting. We just all work and live and party and have fun. And it's just, you know, it's who it is, you know, it's who we are. And those memory comes in flashes in the waking, but they were in my dreams since I was a kid. I have always been dreaming of this planet. And I know it's past the Andromedas now. I just got that a couple of years ago. And I know that the Spica, because I'm very Spican, I have a lot of Spica, Starseed, I have a lot of reptilian. I'm very reptilian and draconian. And I know that that is a hub. And I know that because the Argothians are guardians over my son. I see two of them around him a lot. But the Arcturians they came through about 4 or 5 years ago for the first time as well. And they told me, and I found out not only just from them saying, but also from my research and working with these clients all of the time. And I mean, I mentor starseeds. So I get to bounce off of their stars. I get to see the code of their soul, that sacred geometry. That's the first thing I look at on a chart. And I mean, I instantly get messages. I'm like, okay, she needs this. We need to do this. He needs to go here. I have mails that come to me. It's very interesting, you know, how all of this has come forward. But the planet itself, the only thing I know about the memory is that the water is extremely blue, almost like a purple blue. It's like a really dark kind of blue. There's a lot of water. It's tropical like. This is why I'm always, since I was a kid, take me to the ocean. I got to get out of this desert. I can't stay in this desert. I remember telling them, and they were like, okay. And my parents take me to Galveston or something. And so, you know, I ended up finally getting to the ocean. And like, honestly, I would be fine if you just dropped me off down in, you know, Belize or something. You know, I would be totally great with it. But, you know, I've got family and roots and stuff here that I don't want to leave yet. But they've told me that I probably will eventually anyway. So we'll see. Or Hawaii. I've always been called to Hawaii. We'll see. You know, you just got to kind of roll with it. That's the main thing, is you got to light yourself up every single day until it's instant. It's like an instantaneous thing that you just do, you know? Now, of course, we're going to have challenges and all of the things, but, you know, in the long run, we're all, even the fucking assholes, they are love. They're beautiful, brilliant people, right? Even those, sorry, I sometimes have a potty mouth. It sometimes comes through. Apologize if I offended anybody, but it just happens. You know, they are love. Even the worst of the evil, they are love. That's how I healed that demon Draconian, and he finally left. And now he's come back. His name is Drakkar, and he came back to help, because you must love them and forgive them, because they too were hijacked, and they are all aspects of you. Every one of them, all of them. Every guide is not outside of you. There's nothing outside of you. It's all you. But we see it as perception and visions and knowledges and memories of everything that's going on with us. And when you have that kind of sight, it's a lot to, you know, mine doesn't ever shut down. Like I'm seeing stuff when I'm driving down the road, things are happening. And I'm like, I was driving down the road and I was like, you know, it's just an instantaneous. You're just like, okay, do I really need to go buy toilet paper? No, this thing ain't going to last. Keep going over the bridge and get back on the island. I try not to leave the island. I stay on this island. I have to go into Corpus sometimes, and it's beautiful and great people in Corpus, but I stay out here on this island because it's like, okay, I'm in my space.
You know, I couldn't have asked for a better ending. Is what she said that's the most important there is you light yourself up no matter what. That's what you've got to do every day, and it becomes a habit. When you don't, you miss it. And that's how you know you should.
Yeah, instantaneous. Go to glow.
Yep. Absolutely.
Instantaneous. And when you do it every day, it becomes who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always kind of felt that way, but I have to work at it from time to time if I'm going through troubles and traumas. And Lord knows I've risen from the dead 100 times in this incarnation. And Lord knows we all miss where we're from. There's a longing in every one of us that misses where we came from. And you have to learn to heal from there. And then all the childhood crap that comes with being a human, you know, all the trauma and the horribleness that, you know, some people have to go through. I attract a lot of trauma people. And so, you know, it's like you gotta you gotta go into that inception. You know, we go into the consciousness from the inception and we start there, you know. And then you can also project the consciousness forward. We did that yesterday with the Aussie. Beautiful Australian, autistic. I love her so much. Pushed her consciousness forward to a time when she's already whole, healed, you know, and that lightness that you say, Mary, you know. So thank you for having me today.
Oh
This
my
has been
gosh.
fun.
It has been the best. So
It
can you tell
has.
how to find you, please?
Yeah, Chanda Sparkles Astrology on YouTube. I'm on Instagram, TikTok. Sparkles Astrological Soul Codes is my other one, which I'm kind of thinking I'm just going to change that name, but I have it on my business card, so I'm kind of like, eh. But anyway, I'm all over the place. I'm in all the socials. You can find me everywhere. Just look for Sparkles and Astrology, and I'm normally going to pop up. Or you can email me at sparklesastro@gmail.com.
Excellent. And it's Chanda. Chanda. There's no
Chanda. Yeah.
R.
Yeah.
Chanda.
No R. No R. Everybody always wants to put an R in my name. And I'm like, okay. It's no
Yeah,
R in
you
there.
know that you and I look like we could possibly be from the same planet. Mine
Yeah.
is our Arcturus and Sirius.
Yeah.
So
Well, you have the Arcturus and the Sirius star on your chart that I sent, but I also added that there was the galactic center there. You are a galactic center being, and I believe the Blaze star. You have many. So I have over 13 starseed lineages, and I can look at your chart and tell you which ones you have.
well, that
Yeah.
is interesting because I didn't know it appeared there. I always just knew I was. I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
know. Isn't that interesting? So that's the thing, you know, these astrologers this particular year can tell you so much about what is going on. I hope you guys learned something today. I know I certainly did. Please find me tomorrow
Thank
at
you.
Mitchell. You can find them at, like I said earlier, 11:50 a.m.
Yeah.
kkw.com streaming. It's going to be an awesome story, and I will see you on Saturday at class. God bless you, everybody. God bless you, Chanda.
Enoshetemonai.
What she said. You know, and that's the thing is I get to this point and I'm like, where do I go to turn it off? I tell you,
Okay. Walk in the light and spread the sparkle. Boom,
yeah,
make it happen.
I still get, you can go ahead and it's going to take me a second. And
You
you
don't know
got,
how to turn it. You just hit exit.
yeah, but see right now, the way he's got this set up, that piece of this is just, oh, wait a minute. Okay. So usually it's right there. Oh, there it is. You know what? I just did something technical.
You know what? You are technical. You are.
I just
So
don't believe
remember,
myself in that.
you have to believe that you are.
Boy, howdy, I
Thank
found
you.
it. Good night, everybody.
Bye.